Guys, I got another Alliance War video for you. In this Alliance War video, we'll be going up against APOCO. I'll be going path 6 to 7 this war. I did bring Spider-Man Stark Enhanced, Void, and my 4-star Blade for the synergy he gives Spider-Man. His first node is Aggression Fury, Unblockable L1, and Limber. And I saw it was going to be a 565 Cosmic. I was expecting a 565 Medusa on this node. I do go full boost here. I'm throwing on pretty much everything I could, everything I have. I've never seen a 565 Medusa on this node, and I was a little intimidated, to be honest. But we're gonna max boost. We're gonna go in here with Spark, try and build a couple poise charges. Make sure I get those Fury buffs off of her really quick. I did throw a Start with 1 bar of power boost on. I'm able to push myself to an L2 before her Living Strands pops up, and I was able to connect those hits while her Living Strands was popping up. And I do power drain her right there, which is pretty clutch. She does have an L1 now, and she's in her Living Strands. I'm only hitting her once. I'm just trying to keep these Fury buffs off of her from this Aggression Fury node. The Living Strands does go off. I am able to drop an L1 of my own, take off a decent amount of damage. She does throw that L2. The Living Strands comes back on, so I only hit her once there. If I would have hit her twice there, I would have been stunned and probably KO'd. See, I only hit her once there. I do get this parry in, but she dexes out of it. This node does have Limber on it. And then I was able to bait out that last heavy and get one more medium in, and I was able to get that 565 Medusa down. I was pretty stoked about that, and I didn't take too much damage from my Spark, or with my Spark. So this next node is Bane, Enhanced Abilities, and Stun Immunity, Science, Persistent Charges. I was expecting a MODOK. Does turn out to be a MODOK. So in the beginning of this fight, I want to build a couple poise charges, but not get backed too far against the wall with MODOK, because his heavy is almost impossible to evade against the wall. So I do start Bane. I do get a couple hits on him and start Bane. His shield buff does come up, and right now I block it off right before Bane's about to switch, and I switch Bane on him really well. I do get to an L2, drop it before his shield buff comes back on, and that L2 was enough to get him down. So yeah, that's I threw that Start with 1 bar power boost on, and then the tech power boost on. Man, those two combined are almost unstoppable. So this next node is node 24, Bane, not Bane, Buffet. This node also has Recovery and Limber on it, but it's a 6-star King Groot. And this King Groot is not awakened, so I do not have to worry about his passive healing when he gets when his Furies shut off. His Furies do shut off. I was trying to build up poise charges while he had his Furies up. That's a great time to build up poise charges against him. And now that his Furies are off, I am able to parry him. This node does have Limber on it, so I want to just be a little cautious about the parries. And he does go back into his Fury state. I am getting a decent amount of combos on him. I do get a really nice intercept right there. I bait out this L1, push myself to an L2, drop my L2, and it does a decent amount of damage. I'm just trying to bait out this next L1, which I do now. He does throw it, and I get a couple more combos on him. The Buffet node does trigger. And I just want to bait out one more L1 and get another couple combos on him, and that 6-star King Groot does go down on the Buffet node. Pretty long fight, not too long, but King Groot has a ton of health. So this next node is the Buffet mini boss. This node does not have Limber on it, so I can stun them almost freely at will for as long as I want, and it is a rank 4 Sentinel. So I do bring my Void into this fight as opposed to Spark. I don't know. I mean, Spark definitely could have done it, but I didn't want to have to deal with Sentinel's 100 analysis charges and him gain so much power. Void's a little bit of the easier option, in my opinion. So yeah, I do go in here with Void. I throw my L1, Petrify debuff. The timer triggers Petrify debuff. The RNG was great. First two debuffs to apply are the Petrify debuffs. I couldn't have asked for more. So I don't retaliate this L1 because he built up another L1 because of his charges. So I do drop this L1, and I now have 5 debuffs on him. He's ticking down pretty pretty nice. He does throw this heavy. I do bait out that heavy, trigger the buffet node, and it does take a decent amount of health off him. And I bait out this L1. I don't retaliate in. I feel like, I don't know, I wasn't close enough or something. I just didn't feel comfortable retaliating in there. Fear the Void does drop. I do drop an L1 and get a debuff on him. I now have Fear the Void and 2 debuffs on him, and my timer's about to clock down, and now I have Fear the Void and 1 Petrify debuff on him, which is great. And I throw this last L1, and now I Fear the Void and 2 Petrify debuffs, and he just degens out that rank 4 Sentinel on the buffet mini boss. So this next node is node 38, and I feel like people are going to start putting skills here because of Korg, and they want to, I don't know, but it's not a Korg. It turns out being a Moon Knight, so I did bring in my Void just in case it was a Korg. And I do drop this L1 on Moon Knight, and now I'm just going to, I noticed he was at an L1, and I'd rather bait out his L2 as opposed to his L1, so I was just blocking through that, trying to bait out his heavy. I do push him to his L2 right here, and now I'm just trying to bait out his L2. I was like, crap, he might not throw it. I might get pinned against the wall, but luckily he does throw it, and get another 5-hit combo on him, drop another L1, and once again, I'm going to try and bait out another heavy from him, so I can push him back up to an L2, just because I like baiting out Moon Knight's L2s as opposed from his L1. Just easier to, you can always retaliate them. His L1, you have to be really close, like Magneto's L1 to retaliate it. So he does throw this heavy. I do get a 5-hit combo, and then finally he does throw the L1. I do evade it. I don't retaliate it because I was just a little bit too far back. And I do get Fear the Void on him, and then I drop this L2, and it was enough to take that Moon Knight out on node 38, the Aggression Armor node. I think that's what it's called. So this next node is node 42, the Recovery node, and the Arc Overload node. It is I think it's a rank 4, I'm not sure, but it's an Iceman. Yeah, it's a rank 4. Rank 4 Iceman on the Recovery node. I do bring in my my Spark in this fight, and I am ticking for a decent amount, almost 500 per tick. He does the Cold Snap does drop off, and he takes me all the way down to 71% from 100. There's a decent amount of health loss there, unfortunately. I do bait out this heavy from him and get a combo on him, shut off his ice armor, and now I can parry him because his ice armor shut off. I do get a parry in right there. And the Arc Overload node does trigger, and he does regain his ice armor, and then he shrugged off my parry right there almost instantly because of the ice armor, so I shut off the ice armor there. I bait out this L1, get another 5-hit combo. I'm sorry, a two combo, 2 mediums, and then I was going to drop my L2, but the last medium crit enough to get him down. See, only 21 hits versus that Iceman on the Recovery node. So this next node is the Right to Center mini boss. This is the Strike Back node and the Recovery node. I think it has Recovery on it. It is a 6-star cable, and I wanted to use my Spark because, I don't know, it's just a lot faster versus cable with Spark as opposed to Void, I feel like. And I wanted to try and get out of this fight fast. The faster the fight, the more chance of not dying you have. So I get this really weird parry in the beginning of the fight. This guy is running suicides. I'm not too sure why, because this is Seasons, and this is Masters, so I'm not sure why you're running suicides. But anyway, my Spark is plowing through this cable really fast. I dropped this L2, and that cable did not stand a chance at all. So that is it for me in this Alliance War. We did beat APOCO. Big shout out to APOCO. Congratulations to all the MVPs. I hope you guys like this Alliance War video. Till the next one. Peace.